Hello, everybody. Welcome to your art class. And yeah, we're in the art room now. That's pretty cool. Some of you of my Riverside friends might be missing the art room a little bit. It's still here. It'll be here when you come back. So yeah, today we are going to be drawing something kind of strange. You're going to draw your shoe. Yes, we're drawing shoes today. So pick out a shoe and put it up on your table. I know it's kind of gross, kind of smelly, but we're going to do it because it's a fun exercise for art. Um, and this is going to help you with certain drawing skills too. You can see up on the screen here, you can see some different examples of student shoe drawings that have been done before. And we do this exercise because it's really a good skill to be able to look at something in front of you and try to figure out how to draw that, the spaces and the shapes and everything. It's pretty tough at first, but like I said, it's a skill. So the more you do it, the better you get at it. Just consider this practice like anything else. So if we look at these, they're mostly line drawings, mostly focused on drawing the lines. You can see some students added some value, like we learned, some different shading and different textures. So feel free to get creative with it. You can even color it, but first we'll focus on the lines. And you can see everyone's is different. I mean, this one is super simple, but it's still a really cool drawing of an Adidas shoe. Some are a little more complex. It's a good example that everyone's art's different and kind of cool in your own way. So don't get too hung up on if it looks like my drawing, or don't even worry too much about how good it is. Just consider it practice. So I've got my shoe up on the table here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my camera and point it down so you can see my drawing. You can see my feet with just one shoe. I'm literally using my own shoe. The crazy things we do for our art, right? Okay. So I've got kind of a new setup, so there we go. Still trying to figure out how to get that camera up there. So I've got a pencil. I like to use a pencil first because I can sketch a little bit and erase a little bit, and I will make my screen bigger so you can see. So you might not see all my lines at first, and you can draw along with me, or you can watch this and then draw, however you like to do it. All right. So first I'm looking at my shoe, and you can either draw it like on an angle or try to get flat with it. Like, if you're drawing your shoe like flat, it would look like this. If you're kind of above it, you might get this angle and see these parts and stuff like that. Okay. So I'm going to sketch out the basic shapes of my shoe and the basic size. Kind of lightly put a little outline here. Mine's on a little angle, so that's okay. And I'm like looking at each curve and each shape. This is really the best tip I can give you for this is really look at the shoe. We find ourselves looking at the drawing more than the shoe, but you want to be looking at the shoe about as much as you're looking at your drawing. You're really studying it and like really paying attention to each little part. I'm even sometimes looking at the shoe while I'm drawing my little sketchy lines. So I'm just kind of mapping it out. I can always change something later if it doesn't look right. And I've got just about the basic shapes. I've got like the tongue of the shoe here. Okay, and I've done this many times. We did this in college and in high school and all those things, and I've been practicing this type of drawing. So just remember, yours does not have to look like mine. Yours can look totally different. So now that I've got the basic shapes out, I'm gonna really go for some of the harder lines. Like the little the sole of the shoe, the rubber part. I'm kind of outlining the bottom shape, and I'm pressing with a harder line now. You can use a pencil or pen for this part. It's up to you. I'm gonna just use a pencil so I can still erase my mistakes. So yeah, now I'm drawing like these harder lines, and I see this part. My shoe comes up like right here. I'm gonna do that part. Just really looking at each little. Maybe I can kind of put it into view for you a little bit, even though you have a different angle than I do. Yeah, and this part like kind of goes up here, and actually it has some little stitches along it. Like if you're really looking, you'll notice all those little details. And I like to kind of do the big parts first and the little details later. So big shape here. I have like this leather part on my shoe, like this. So it's really just about trying to break it down and pick out all the shapes that you see. Um, and some people in art, we call this doing a still life. It's just kind of drawing something that you set up on a table to look at, and it's not moving or anything, it's just kind of objects. And it's a good exercise, and you come up with some interesting drawings sometimes too. Drawing more little stitches. Got a little, I can see a little leather piece that comes up here, and then when it hits this part, it goes back over. So you're really just looking at all the parts and using your lines. And seriously, don't sweat it if this is like super hard for you, or if you just feel like, how come I can't do this, or like how come I'm struggling so much with this? That's normal. I mean, like the first few times I did this, I struggled with it a lot too, and that's okay. Like I said, it's just practice. All right, just go easy on yourself and try to have fun with it. If it doesn't turn out good, so what? Good practice, but just keep at it, keep it positive, and try your best. Maybe you'll surprise yourself. I can see the inside of the shoe, even the bottom. This is looking pretty good. I'm happy with this. This is a cool drawing. And then the laces. Laces are tough. It goes kind of across. And good thing I used a pencil, because I'll have to erase this part underneath the lace. Oh, I should probably draw the big knot here. Draw this coming around. Do the big parts first that are up on top. There you go, and one around here. Ta-da. Okay, a little shoelace coming down. I really like this kind of drawing. It seems, to be honest, it seems like it would be boring at first. Like, why would I want to draw a shoe when I could draw like laser beam unicorns in space with aliens eating pizza? You know, like you could draw anything. Why am I drawing a shoe? It's a good question. I don't know. It's a good practice to draw a shoe, and we all have one. And I really couldn't tell you why this is enjoyable, but it really is. You kind of get in the zone and get focused on what you're looking at, and I don't know. It's fun to draw this way. So that's kind of the basics of my shoe, and for you it would be kind of like, this is hard on the camera, this angle almost. I don't know. It's hard to see. But yeah, and if you want to, you can start getting creative with this. You can outline it with a marker, or you can use value like we talked about. That's kind of an even higher level skill, which is to look at your shoe or whatever it is and look at it like it's value, right? Remember we learned about shading with dark and light? Look at how it's like darker down here. It kind of gets a little lighter. You see the brown gets lighter, and we have this ridge here that's like a dark part. Imagine how you would do that with your pencil. It'd be darker and getting a little lighter, and then this part's almost white, right? So if you want to look and do some light values, you can do that, or color it, or go crazy with it. Maybe like start doing patterns and turn it into a robot or something. I don't know. I'd say just start with a cool line drawing and then start getting creative from there, all right? And then if you're done drawing your shoe and you feel like this is an interesting thing or you want more practice, find some other objects in your house to draw, right? It could be anything. I would say the simpler of a shape it is, the better, but it doesn't have to be. You can pick something crazy if you want. Try to put a plant on your table and draw it. Put some fruit on your table or some of your toys or something. So yeah, go for it. I'm gonna just doodle on this for a little while. All right, so you can draw, hopefully, maybe you've been drawing already, but before I wrap up the lesson, I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun with this and start getting creative with it. And let's put on some good music for art making. Actually, on the YouTube channel, on my school YouTube channel here, you can find a playlist of good art making music. Everybody kind of has their own music they like to do. I mean, I like sometimes relaxing piano music, sometimes like lo-fi hip-hop beats are nice, whatever is your jam. Some people like really intense techno. Okay, let's put on some nice piano and do some drawing. If you haven't figured it out yet, you could use colored pencils to create value pretty well. I can get some nice dark and light shading going on with colored pencils. It's kind of why I like them so much. And if you're not sure about where to put shadows and stuff, it can be kind of tricky and it takes time to have that feel natural. But a good plan is like maybe put some shadows around the edge of things. Like maybe on one side, put the shadows on each edge, right? Like put it on the right side here, the right side here. Maybe I'll put some shadows on the right side over here. Just experiment with it. You can even layer colors together with colored pencils. I just love these things. Making sure to leave some white though, so it really glows. Sometimes when I'm outlining things with ink, like markers or pens, I do this thing where you use a really thick line all around the outside, and then maybe like just the main parts, like maybe this is a main shape too, but then the rest of it you do thin lines. It's not something you really notice by looking at it, but it looks good. So maybe you'd use like a marker for the outside and then a pen for the inside, or even if you just have a pencil, just kind of go over it a few times and scribble a little bit on the outside to make it like a thick, chunky line. However you want to do it. I like how this is like kind of a boring work shoe, and then I kind of spiced it up a little bit, made it a little more, I don't know, rainbowy. Maybe they should make work shoes like this. Maybe this is a shoe design. You know, maybe you turn this project into you're designing a shoe. Maybe that's your next one. Maybe you want to start drawing your own made up shoes. I'll put a logo on this because this is my new shoe company. Sunshine Shoes. I dig it. I'd buy it. And my final touch, I'll add a little bit of glow around it. Cool. Just kind of lightly coloring a little glow. Throw a little orange in there. It's a little warm glow around the outside. Okay, that's my shoe. So, I am going to wrap up the lesson here. All right, hopefully you learned something, had some fun, and hey, you know what? Keep drawing. If you're not done, just keep on going. And I hope that this sparks something for you or gets you to think about a new idea or a new way to draw. Whatever, just keep on drawing, okay? Because drawing is going to help make you happy. It's going to give you something productive to do. And trust me, when you start getting better and better at it, you're going to be glad that you spent time drawing. So have fun, everybody. Stay awesome. I love you all. You know, that's why us teachers do this, because we love you. Oh, yes, and a message for parents or even students out there. There was a little bit of confusion about turning in assignments, and if you need to send me assignments to turn in, just to clear that up. The answer is not yet. All right, so you don't need to turn anything in. I'm not collecting anything yet because we haven't quite figured out how that grading is going to work. However, you should hold on to your stuff. It's good to keep it. And if you want to send me pictures of your work, you definitely can. I love to see my students' artworks. And I like to I'm working on a little online gallery, so I can put student artworks in there and we can kind of share art with each other. So feel free to send it if you want to, but you don't have to, because I'm not grading it just yet, and I will be sure to let you know and make it very clear how all that will work. All right, thanks everybody. Take care.